Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Boombi. Today I will show you an eggplant recipe using freshly picked eggplants. This is the first time I am growing eggplants. Since I grow everything in containers on my terrace, I chose the varieties that do best growing in containers. These varieties do not grow bigger than these. Okay, let's start cooking. I washed the eggplants very well. I will be using them whole, but if you cannot get hold of small varieties like this, you can follow this same recipe using regular eggplant. Just chop them into large chunky pieces. Put the eggplant in a bowl filled with water to prevent them from turning brown. In my earlier video, I showed you these peppers, and some of you told me that these are shishito peppers. They have no heat in them, but they have this beautiful flavor. I am also using these Thai green chilies. I think growing chilies is the easiest. Okay, just before you start cooking, wipe the eggplants very well to prevent all that splattering of hot oil, which can not only be dangerous but can also be very tedious cleanup later on. Pot on medium-high heat with 4 tablespoons of oil. Eggplants go in along with a sprinkle of salt. Fry the eggplants for about 5 to 6 minutes or until they get a little browned up. And look at these purple beauties. Don't they look gorgeous? Wish that purple color stayed till the end of cooking. They have browned up now, so I will be taking them out into a bowl. We will now make the gravy. A teaspoon of cumin seeds enter the hot oil, along with a dry red chili and finely chopped onions. Sprinkle of salt to help the onions soften up faster. Fry the onions for a few minutes and then add a teaspoon of finely grated ginger and 2 teaspoons of finely grated garlic. Fry for 1 or 2 minutes and then spice time. A teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder, or you can also use paprika if you want to avoid the heat, and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. Add a splash of water to prevent the spices from burning and stir for about a minute. Then I added about 2 tablespoons of gram flour, that is besan. Besan gives a nutty flavor to the gravy and also brings in a thickness to the gravy. You can also use almond flour instead of gram flour. Stir for about 2 minutes and then add about half a cup of canned crushed tomatoes. You can also blend 4 ripe fresh tomatoes in your blender and use it. Then cover on medium heat. My friends, come back to it from time to time and give a stir. When you see the tomato is turning pasty and jelly-like, add chopped green chilies and then the fried eggplants dive into the pan. Add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar to balance the flavors, but sugar is totally optional. Add about half a cup of hot water and cover on for 8 minutes. Side by side, we will grind an interesting ingredient. I used a tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds. You can also use regular white sesame seeds. Just roast them in a pan on very low heat and take them out as soon as they start turning little brown in color. You can also use roasted peanuts if you do not have sesame seeds on hand. Do not grind them too fine. You need a coarse grind like this. Okay, back to the eggplants. I added the green peppers. The eggplant still needs some more time, but at the same time you do not want the eggplants to fall apart because then it will look like some kind of mashed up disaster. Cover on for a few minutes. Finally, add a teaspoon of bhaja masala. I have a video on bhaja masala. If you think you do not want to make bhaja masala, then add just half a teaspoon of garam masala powder, but I would highly recommend using bhaja masala. I also added the ground sesame seeds and then my beloved coriander leaves to sign off this delicious aromatic dish. Please do try this yummy eggplant recipe and send me your feedback. Bye bye.